About 5 years ago, I renovated my family home to turn it into my forever home. And it was the 6th house for Three Birds Renovations, but it was the first house we were doing that wasn't a fast flip.
Oh my good Lord, what a feeling. All of this joy I've been stealing.
So Bon and I were pretty confused when Lana said she wanted to create a Santorini and Sydney style home.
Look, when she told me that the house was completely inspired by Santorini, I remember having a little giggle to myself because I just thought, she's never even been there.
She doesn't even like traveling, getting on planes.
Don't stop now.
It was really the first time we did a forever home. So for Lana, it was her forever home and it is how she wanted to live in the home.
So we thought we would revisit the reno, show you never before seen footage, and answer one of the most popular questions that we've been asked. Do I have any renovation regrets? Well, after living in the house for 5 years, you're about to find out.
Just a little closer. No, don't stop now.
When I first started to feel like we needed to renovate the home, at that time, I think at Three Birds, we were up to house number 3, and we'd done sort of Hamptonsy styled homes with the cladding and, you know, a grey with white windows. I just thought, I'm loving the Hamptons vibe, that's what we're gonna do here. And that was the wrong idea. And in fact, we even painted the front facade. We changed it from orange to grey, just painted it grey just because I wanted that grey look. I realised that as I tried to pull together a vision of the Hamptons, it didn't fit into this property. This property didn't have the bones, the structure, the architecture to support Hamptons. You know, it was rendered, just the window styles, the front door style. Everything was not saying Hamptons, but I didn't know what it was saying until I looked at the Bougainvillea, I looked at the front, and I thought, you know what? There is something I'm feeling here. And so I started searching pink Bougainvillea house on Pinterest and online, and all of a sudden, all these stunning photographs from Greece, Santorini, and other islands presented to me with the same pink Bougainvillea I had. And I saw this particular image of a gorgeous white rendered house with a pink Bougainvillea and sort of a seafoam green front door. And when I saw that, I said, that's it. I have found the vision for this home.
Oh yeah, I remember exactly what the house used to look like. Disjointed little rooms everywhere with a really thin staircase.
Bitsy, disconnected, and no open plan.
And it's time to move on.
I've designed the whole house around the Bougainvillea. Let's hope it doesn't die or the tradies don't kill it. Come inside. The staircase is very close to the front door, which isn't ideal, so that's one of the things we're going to look to change. This is what we used to call the shoe room. I don't know many people who have a shoe room, and it's not because I've got lots of shoes like a lot of women would love. It's because I'm a germaphobe, and we've got a strict no-shoe policy in the house. So this room is highly functional. It's like a departure lounge, like at Qantas or something. So in the middle 2 levels, it was lots of individual rooms and a narrow hallway. The hallway had become narrow because a renovation that had happened probably 30 years ago put a staircase right in the middle of the hallway to obviously add on the second story addition. And you can see that, you know, this sort of hallway is a little bit higgledy-piggledy. It's not really ideal for a home, you know, just being able to touch the roof like this and have a narrow little part of the hallway and one main family bathroom. I don't know if we're ready for this. So this is the original bathroom. I'm actually ashamed of this bathroom. Okay, now look at the ceiling. It's outrageous, I know. This will be probably one of the biggest transformations because it is so original. But yeah, the middle 2 levels were a bit weird, where you'd come in at the ground level and those were all the bedrooms. And upstairs was a kitchen, living and dining. This has basically been our family level to live in with our kitchen. So this was really our living space up in the treetops, which is very nice, but we're going to certainly change it around because the kids can't get to the backyard from here. But I'm really going to miss spending most of my time up on this level because it's such a lovely space to be in, but it'll be our adult world. So I've made sure that we still get the best of that new floor plan. So we're mid-reno and I'm standing under my beloved Bougainvillea. The good news is it's thriving in amongst all the action.
Well, look, Lana made sure that every trade that came to this job site knew about the Bougainvillea.
Oh, the Bougainvillea was like her child. I'm not kidding, it was probably on par with her children.
And I knew that with all these different trades coming in and out all the time, it was at risk of getting damaged, killed, cut down accidentally. Oh, sorry, Lana, I thought you didn't want that weed. And by then, no amount of sorries could fix that. So something that always happens when you renovate is, and it's hard to avoid, but your tradies trash your yard. So my mum and I constructed this special do not cross line. And as you can see, it's not been too effective. I was originally not going to extend the house. I was going to extend the house, but I was going to leave one of the centre vertical columns to hold up the house. And I remember I had an aircon guy come around to give me a quote for putting inducted air conditioning. He said, why are you going to keep that column there? Because I told him what I was going to do. And I said, well, because to hold the house up and you can't get a beam big enough. He said, you can get a beam big enough. I used to be a structural engineer and I'm telling you, you need to ask for this length of beam and you'll be able to remove that vertical pillar and open it all up. This beam means everything to this house transformation. So I forgive them for breaking the do not cross line.
Oh, just move on. Shake it, baby. Yeah.
So I'd pop in every day and check on how the builders are going. I'm sure they loved it when I turned up. And to be honest, the amount of decisions that needed to be made when I was there, I often felt like I was getting pulled from pillar to post.
Let's go. Hey.
How is Tommy going to get behind there and paint? Behind the Bougainvillea, behind the jasmine.
Yeah, no, we can pull that forward. We should be. It should be right. And then,
Well, I'll have to be here to supervise.
Yeah, if there's some branches that got white on them and that.
Gonna do my thing.
And so I got in a horticulturalist and my local landscapers who are fantastic and asked them about it. But I'm worried and panicked because, as you know, the whole house has been designed around the Bougainvillea.
Indeed. And the beauty of the Bougainvillea is it's vigorous. It'll grow back. It'll get there eventually.
It will.
Yeah.
And their confidence gave me confidence.
We knew when Lars was designing the layout of her home, there would be a few little quirks.
This is now going to become the butler's office. So that is where we can work with a half wall on a platform, can see all the living spaces, the kitchen, the living and dining.
And what she thought was a really normal thing to do and a really standard thing for her, this butler's office, really took everyone by surprise.
I don't know that many people had done a butler's office prior to this.
Have you done one of these before?
I've not a butler's office, but
Oh, so it's a butler. It's
done
the
an
first in
office.
Australia, a butler's office.
Lana doesn't cook, so why have
Yeah, a little bit.
extra utensils?
No,
and
I know.
extra-
It's just that could have been a desk.
And it was hilarious. We're on site and she's telling everyone about it and the trades are like,
A butler's office, not a butler's kitchen. No, a butler's office.
very confusing. I don't really understand. What are you talking about? And she thought it would catch on. And
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's going to catch on.
so fridge, pantry, drawers, your oven, your cooktop.
And so I knew better than anyone how I was going to live in the house and what I wanted. So I was very confident in my floor plan. Other people sort of raised their eyebrows at some of my choices.
And you're going for a microwave over a fridge drawer.
Yeah. Well, you don't use a microwave at all? Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
I do, but you can fit a microwave in that kitchen somewhere.
No, not if we want to hide it
Surely.
all. We don't want to put any
She didn't
appliances
want
on
to.
the
She
wall.
doesn't want to see anything.
No, just put it in the pantry on a
But we use it
shelf.
all the time.
I thought that she would just put it in a cupboard perhaps because we like to kind of put them away because it's not usually an everyday item. So you're not comfortable putting a microwave behind a door?
Definitely not.
To have a fridge drawer?
Definitely not. Because we're in and out of that microwave 1,000 times a day.
Purely because Lana does not cook and she heats. That's what she does.
I have to say that most people would not prioritise the location of a microwave.
Okay, I understand. The microwave is as important as the study.
Yes.
And that's why
That's
this is
who
your
I
home.
like because I'm a worker.
Yeah.
I need the microwave. And I tell you, I use it every single day.
I think back then we were doing a lot of designing on the hop. We were picking and choosing where things go, you know, as we move along.
It was a little bit more on the fly. Like, our business is obviously that little bit more structured now, or a lot more structured now. You'd walk into a room and you'd kind of make decisions, you know, there on the spot, and we'd all kind of talk about it and we'd all be there discussing it. It was fun.
In terms of these walls, I've got a few options. You love all this bumpiness?
I love it.
Every single brick wall in this house?
No, just that wall
Okay.
and just that wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about that wall and stuff?
No, so gyprock, but then this is all beautifully rendered that comes around into this. I just think get this rendered,
Yeah.
and then put a beautiful piece of artwork on it.
We probably started with what were my needs and what did I want, and then she'd build on it, as opposed to her trying to say, we're going to do this, this, and this.
Yeah, like I remember walking, you know, down the side pathway of the house, and the brick wall had been built for the extension, and we kind of came inside and we were discussing, you know, what we were planning to do. You know, I think it was with the ceiling and the kitchen placement and the lounge room or whatever it might have been, but I remember discussing, you know, this whole room.
Where I really wanted the brick look, like they could have just done timber framing, but I wanted a 6 metre wall of brick painted white.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then this is the catch. My bird needs to go over here.
It needed to be in a significant spot within the home. It needed a place, it needed a home. It was really, really important to her. The only thing that's going to throw, like, that's a space for the bird. You know what I mean? So,
Are you finding a space?
yes, we've got to find a space for the bird.
Yeah, do you have a space for your dogs?
Yes, it's called their yard.
Okay, well, my bird can't live outside, he'll fly away. Or he'll catch a cold.
Can we take away the bird for a second?
Yeah.
Like, just for a second.
And by the way, his name's Sunny.
Sorry, Sunny.
He's got a name.
Lana is just a big, interesting ball that you're never going to truly understand, but that's what makes her beautiful.
I arrived in Singapore and sales broke out and I thought I was going to die. Honestly. And that's it, I'm gone. I'll never see, I would say my children, but I didn't have children then. I'd never see Jason or my family again.
How old were you? How did I not know that you went to Singapore?
That's when I played touch footy for Singapore in the World Cup.
Right, yeah.
Over in Japan. That was my international debut.
Here we go again. Come on.
All of a sudden, a renovation goes from 0 to 100 really, really quickly, and then you're being asked to answer all these questions. You know, things are being thrown at you with, well, what do you want here? What skirting boards do you want? What door handles do you want? What distance do you want between, you know, your cooktop and your island? And all of a sudden, there's things that are just absolutely rolling down a hill at you, and you're just trying not to be knocked over with the questions.
It'll have to be new doors, would it?
Yep.
He's going to go up here
Yeah.
and come out of the wall with this arm.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have it opening so it opens to the
Okay.
back wall.
Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, babe. Excuse me, my plumber's calling. He's more important than you at this moment. Honestly, I'm just freaked out by this right now.
Here we go again. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, come on. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, come on. Here we go again. Put me on the man. I'm the man. Round it up 10 out of 10. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Yeah. Here we go again.
So I've just come outside and found my builders enjoying the pool, and I got to say I love it. Good on them. It's 34 degrees, so I'm still working though.
We walk the miles, make the space, take the time, never late.
The staircase was always going to be a big feature of my home. I wanted it to be. And then when they're installing it, we realised that there's been a mistake made at the factory where they cut the steel, and there's one section where it's 3 centimetres off what it needs to be. But of course, that's going to make a huge difference. Oh my God. Do you know what? I cannot see how another set of treads is fitting in there. Is that worrying you? Bull. Yeah, because like if that was serious, then I was worried. I don't want you to hide anything from me.
180, 180, 150.
And how come?
The laser cutter got wrong.
The bottom one's right, the middle one's wrong.
I'm going to get back here tomorrow, Wednesday.
Yeah, you've got to come back.
I know.
So all's quiet on the staircase front now because unfortunately the guys have had to tools down and go and fix up an issue with the way the steel was cut. It wasn't cut exactly quite right. So it means they've got to go re-weld it, re-powder coat it and come back. And I just hope they do come back like tomorrow or the next day. So unfortunately, this is as far as we get today, which is, I guess, the way things happen. Doesn't all go to plan. You just got to breathe. But they did come back. They put in the right staircase and it was worth the wait.
Turn it up so everybody knows that I got.
So this house was the first house we'd done together that was not a flipped property that we'd bought, renovate and were selling for a profit. This was my forever home. And so it was a little bit different how we would work to other houses because I obviously had a much bigger say in the design because it was my home. So therefore, you know, Bon definitely, she was really respectful. She was great actually. She did go to Disneyland mid-reno.
Yeah, so I went to Disneyland during the renovation.
She only went away for 2 weeks. Yeah, it wasn't like, I didn't think it was a big deal.
I think it was like I'd left for 4 years.
And I was left choosing tiles and sending her pictures.
Yeah, I think so. She had to make some decision while I was away. I can't remember what it was. What was it? But I remember it was to do with tiles or grout. It was grout.
So when you're choosing grout colour, and grout colour is really important, it can completely change what your tile looks like. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the great way to do it, and the way I love to do it, and the way Bonnie taught me to do it, is to get some of the powder, the dry grout, and get your tiler to rub it into the tile so you can see it for real life in situ.
When Bonnie went away for 2 weeks, it felt like a long time because key decisions would have had to have been made then. You're always making key decisions.
So she sent me pictures while I was away of the different types of grout.
I just hope Bonnie agrees now. If she comes back with something different, I don't think I can handle it.
No, I reckon
I'm going to have to write to her and tell her I've already chosen.
When renovating Lana's house, I remember that the transformation was enormous. The internal transformation, I felt like it was enormous.
So the more you're prepared in the beginning, the better off you'll be. And then everything just runs so much more smoothly. It just sits and fits into place.
So we're in the final stretch and all the final painting is happening and the vanity's gone in and we'll be putting the stone on top very soon. We'll be coming around the side to bring the stone down and through these doors, not down here. That's what Ronnie thinks. Ronnie! Ronnie from Career by Design is basically like family now. 5 years ago, you know, we were still getting to know each other. Ronnie! I just say Ronnie because like I'm an American. Ronnie! 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 Yeah. Ronnie, the stone guys are here. How did they get that in so fast? Ronnie! I didn't know what he thought of that at the time. I didn't even remember I used to do that, but God knows what he thought. Okay, it went from nothing happening to everything happening. Wait till Bonnie gets here. She'll be excited. I can't believe she's not here. How could she be missing this moment? Hi!
Oh my God.
Ah,
Oh my God.
it's happening.
Oh my God. Hi. Mwah. I just can't.
And it's not too dark at all. In fact, those skylights aren't even open yet. No. So the stone's going up.
And white.
White box there.
White.
And wait, stone here.
Oh, that's
And up there. This is a white box. This is just a white box. When we did the kitchen, I didn't have room for a built-in coffee machine and so just ignored that at the time. But since then, we brought in a DeLonghi coffee machine and use it every single day. And we love this one. It's white, so it just fits in and looks fantastic.
How is that big?
Oh, the gas strut. It's amazing, I know.
Have you figured out how to put it down yet?
Yeah,
What do you do?
I'll show you. You ready? And Bon, you're athletic. Yeah. And then you just stop there.
Eyes open wide and the world is before us.
Lots of uncertain moments during the reno. I remember when the staircase got installed and this beautiful Victorian ash timber treads and risers went in. Stunning, gorgeous, high quality timber.
I remember actually standing right there and looking back at the staircase, and it was just in a really kind of light oak, I think it was. It was a beautiful, beautiful coloured wood.
And everyone was raving about it. Oh, I love your timber. Oh, your timber stairs. And I said, yeah, you know I'm going to paint them.
And I remember thinking, oh, I don't know if I'd paint that. I just don't know. And I was kind of standing there and thinking about it, and Lance and I were talking about it, and I remember her saying, nah.
I'm going to paint them because that's what the vision board tells me to do.
We're light up. We've been waiting for this moment to come. We were made for this adventure. We feel it in our blood. We're light up.
It was a really fun journey because it was designing and executing a renovation to a really specific kind of want and need, which was Lana's forever home. So it was really different in that respect.
I think the thing that sticks out the most in renovating Lana's home is truly the fact that she'd never been to Santorini. It was just, I'm not sure that I could have committed to such a distinct style without seeing it in the flesh. And she did, and good on her because it worked.
I spent so much time making the design decisions and really thinking about it, and that's why it's so important not to rush your renovation, but to really think about it and try and live in the home before you make your renovation plans, because having lived in it for 15 years, I really knew what it needed to become. And that's why, and one of the big reasons, I don't have many regrets, because I knew what it needed to become, and then we got there.
I think the thing I love the most about the final result is just how open and beautiful it feels. It nearly felt claustrophobic, the house before, but it was a big house. I know that sounds funny. It was a big house on 3 different levels, but it still felt claustrophobic. I just feel like all the levels now are so cohesive and open. Yeah, look, I think in the, 5 or 6 years that the house has been renovated, and, the 5 or 6 years that she's had the lounge and whatnot, life, she's got young kids and life is pretty crazy. So, yeah, it's just had that little bit of a freshen up. We had a blue lounge in that top room up there. We swapped out that lounge for a modular lounge from James Lane. Yeah, Rubes' room got updated probably because, when we did her room 5 or 6 years ago, how old is she now, 15? She was, 10. We've got all that, I know the linens from Adair's, and the bed head is just awesome. I love the bed head as well.
And then there's the world of smart tech in homes these days. I'm not talking about smart TVs, which have been around for a while, or like a smart speaker that you can talk to. I'm talking about security with cameras where you can see out the front of your house, around the side, out the back. So I had the Optus O team come and install all this smart tech in my home. Thank God they exist, because I don't think I could have tackled the challenge alone. I knew I wanted this smart tech in the home, but I really didn't know how to go about it. And honestly, the thought of doing it was like my worst nightmare, of connecting all the devices up, making sure they're speaking to the apps, making sure I've got it on my phone. I just didn't want to have to go to that effort. And the great thing about Optus is they have this O team where they'll do that for you. We've set up security cameras with floodlights at the front, side and rear of the property. And I'm just obsessed with this thing. I get notifications on my mobile phone when I'm out at a coffee shop of who's arrived at the door. I can even talk to the person through the camera and say, yep, thanks, I can see you, just leave it at the door. So they don't, take the package away. Don't you hate it when someone takes the package away and you just wanted them to leave it at the door? So I love being able to communicate that way. And then I also love not having to yell through the house, because even though we've got open plan and you can do it, kind of adds a level of angst if you're yelling at each other, like from one level to the next. Is dinner ready? I'm coming down. We've got to leave now. It's just yell. So we've got a smart hub in the kitchen, one up in my office, and I can broadcast a message just in a normal tone of voice, hey kids, we're leaving in 10 minutes, and it will broadcast to the Google Nests that are in the kids' bedrooms and upstairs. Without yelling, everyone in the home can hear this broadcasted message.
Look, Lana's house is white side, on the outside, on the inside, a lot of the furniture, but honestly 5 years on, it's stood the test of time. It looks brilliant. It looks as crisp as it did the day that we did it, and you will never regret painting your house white.
Do I have renovation regrets? Of course. I can't imagine anyone that wouldn't have any, but I don't have many. So the regrets I have is I overlit my house inside. I didn't do a lighting consultation with anyone, and I put in probably a few too many downlights, and I put in cool white globes, which had it looking like a supermarket or a doctor's surgery. And so since then, bit by bit, room by room, I've changed them over to warm white globes. I haven't done all the house yet still, but that was definitely a regret I had. In terms of other regrets, I really don't have, I don't have them. I don't regret painting my house white. I don't regret having a white roof. I don't regret having a white deck. I don't regret buying white sofas. I don't regret having white flooring. I don't regret a staircase that, you have to sort of jog up and down to move through the house at all. I love that. That's the big, I guess, reveal is not many regrets, guys. And I guess that's good news. Certainly good news for me. And it means that it certainly is possible to do a very big renovation on your home and avoid making mistakes and having any major regrets.
Look, 5 years on since we renovated Lana's house, I could count on one hand how many times I've been here.
I think I've been invited to Lana's house for a social event, not work related.
And it's not just me, it's everyone. So it's not just that I haven't been invited.
Once.
I feel like there could have been a kid's birthday party.
And her son fell out of the tree. And an ambulance was called. So it was hectic.